Well, so we're back, and good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. Blessed. I'm
Blessed
good.
to be here as
Yeah.
always.
Today is the last Friday of this month, December, and it's the last working day of the year.
As always.
Yeah.
And we always look forward to 31st nights. So we have all the themes, harvest year, harvest
No.
testimonies
I think crossover has taken over. Everybody's
Right.
crossing over. Yeah.
That's
Today's
what we do.
28.
But we told you that we'll bring you the latest in relation to what the results have been in the creation of the 6 new regions. Now, I think it's a done deal for... if not all of them.
Provisionally, we can say yes. We have created for ourselves 6 additional regions.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
So we will get you the updates from our colleagues who have been on the ground the whole day yesterday. Collation is still underway, very much so in some of the areas. In the OT area, for instance, collation is underway in the western part as well, where Natalia is or has been reporting from. Collation is still very much underway. Where Erastus Asari Donko reported for us, the Ahafu area, provisional results being declared. There's also Ohiming Teria. We'll go to the OT region where we have our colleagues Ivy Setoji and Fred Kwame Asari. They've been reporting for us. Up north, we have Hashmin Mohammed and Martina Bugri. They've been doing the reporting for us. So we'll cross over and get all the update from the Savannah region, the Northeast region as well with our colleagues up north. So all the latest updates with the referendum here on our show this morning. And then we'll also bring you what is latest in Yendi, because we know the final funeral rites underway for the late Yana Muhammadu Abdullahi IV. Justice Beidou will be joining us with what is latest from Yendi. But we've got Chief Momen on our show this morning. It will be exciting. He says he has a surprise for all of us. So we don't know yet what he's coming to do. But I tell you what, today is the 28th. We didn't know, Roland, that we'll be here this day when the year began. We absolutely had no idea that this day was going to happen. And so we want to give praise and worship God and say thank you for how far you've brought us. We're grateful. No matter how the year went, well, we're alive, we're healthy. And so we want you to join us. So leading our praise and worship on the show later this morning is the one and only Luigi McLean. He's on our show. Yeah. Yes,
and we're excited. We're opening the show with his song. He has a latest single, and Awesome God. It's doing wonders. Amazing God.
Why do I feel it's Amazing Grace?
Okay, Amazing Grace.
Okay, so Luigi is on our show this morning. First, we're going to go around and find out how or what is latest with the referendum, and then also touch base with our colleague Justice Beidou. But we've got to take a breather. We will be back. And then look at what's making headlines. MyJoyOnline.com. We'll visit some other news portals. Hopefully we can touch base also with the BBC. So we'll come back with a quick review.
Told me, when we
Well, we told you we'll be doing the review, so let's just get some quick updates. Let's start with our own, myjoyonline.com. Let's see what we have.
Okay, so on our page this morning, Vice President Baumia votes in Northeast region. That was yesterday. We will get what is latest from the ground. Government declares January 7 public holiday. We're going to open this notice from the Interior Ministry. We're going to open it up and share what the statement that they issued yesterday. The fact that January 7 has been declared as a public holiday. It's a constitutional day, something like that?
It is a constitutional day. It's now the constitutional day.
Okay. Sure, we're asking questions already. You can...
And apparently many people didn't know as a surprise, because I know that it was publicized by the media, because it was passed in Parliament.
Okay, so not quiet. There's also a release on the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency parliamentary by-election. We'll get to that in a bit. Let's return to the page and let's do the rest of the stories. So now you know January 7 is Constitution Day and it's a public holiday. We're ready to perform Yana Yakubu Andani's funeral. Family tells President Justice Beidou will tell us what's latest from Yendi this morning. Also on myjoyonline.com. Voters stranded as ferry delays. So some of the issues that came up, some of the challenges that the Electoral Commission had to deal with the referendum, the historic one held yesterday. Ghanaian sues British Army for failing to protect him from winter. Very interesting story. You can read about it on myjoyonline.com. The law professor versus the lawyer. Guess this is a feature that you can read on our page. If gifts bring happiness, how about Jesus? The indescribable gift. Apostle Mike Etru, you want to read on this. And there's an open letter to Mrs. Jean Mensah. I'm sure you want to know what it entails. Just go to our page and read details of that. Here's City Newsroom.
Yeah, so City Newsroom, we have government renews curfews on Nakpache and Japikrom, 7 other communities as well. And it's all to make sure there's peace. We won't be intimidated. We will still cover OT referendum, Volta GJ, and it's a fallout from yesterday's voting that took place in the 4 regions to create 6 new regions.
I couldn't believe that the commander in the Volta region said, because they had picked up intelligence, that some people didn't want journalists to do their work. So because of that,
even the most dangerous of elections,
police command says, set up somewhere else and don't go and do your work. Like, seriously?
Yeah, it happened.
I mean, I was really, really surprised in that interaction with him. And he thought I didn't understand him. So I kept saying, help me to understand you, because I really wanted to understand him. I mean, that's the police is supposed to be maintaining law and order. And if they put their hands in the air and say, oh, a group of people, because we've picked up intelligence that a group of people want to harm you, journalists, so don't go there and do your work. And because of that, we're encouraging you to go to a certain center that we want to set up for you and do your work from there. That's worrying, I thought.
Very worrying. Even in Syria, the war is covered. All right, so we have Ayawaso West Wuogon Primary. I withdrew because of Ejakon's wife, Kufuor's son. Baumia votes in proposed North East region referendum. And we have other line of stories there. Other interesting highlights you can get. Let's go to the main page of the BBC. We know that there's a stalemate, there's a shutdown, almost half shutdown. It means that all our preparations and expenditure in the US is only being met halfway, 50%, not fully. It's all because Trump wants to build a wall. Okay, so we have members of Congress adjourned within minutes of opening their sessions, and we have and then we have U.S. budget impasse over Trump wall drags on. But in the U.S., former First Lady Michelle Obama has been tagged the most admired woman in the United States. Apparently has overtaken Hillary Clinton, who has fallen down the pecking order to 3rd. And we have Melania Trump, I believe, 2nd or so, if I remember the story vividly. We have other highlights.
Shall we go back to the previous page so we can click on the Congo story? There's elections there on Sunday, but at least we know 2 regions would not. There won't be elections in some 3 regions. So let's click on
the voter population of about 1.2 million.
Congo.
Very interesting.
We'll bring you a bit of details with this Congo story, the DR Congo story. Elections to be held on Sunday.
It's a protesters attack DR Congo Ebola Center, and but we have also Africa's Week in pictures. Okay. All right. So now we have to move on and look at some other portals as well. Okay, so already we know that the voting will go on without some other 1 or 2 other regions, but capturing a voter population of about 1.2 million. And we're told that they will be voting in March. Very interesting while the vote takes place. We have protesters angry with the postponement of Sunday's presidential election in parts of the DR Congo, and subsequently attacking a clinic where possible Ebola cases are being looked at. So the attack happened in the eastern city of Beni, one of 3 opposition areas where the vote has been postponed. The Electoral Commission has cited the current Ebola outbreak as one of the reasons behind the postponement. We had the president speaking to the BBC and other international news outlets, and was justifying the reasons for the decision by the Electoral Commission, and saying that they were independent, But we have to now end that whole review of the online portals, but mainstream, Mamavi, we have to look at what stories have been coming out of the referenda that took place just yesterday. We also know that per what we have provisional results, it could mean that per the turnout and what the constitution says, we have 6 new regions that have been created. And we would want to go to the Volta region. Fred Kwame is on the line. He will want to give us the latest update. Good morning to you, Fred.
Roland.
Yes, and thanks for joining us this morning. And what could be the latest you're getting, and from which areas that you can update us with?
Well, I'm in the Jasikine district where the coalition is ongoing for results from the referendum held in the OT enclave of the Volta region. So far, we've received 5 districts. That is the Hohwe district, and then Jasikine, KJB, Biakuye, and Nkwanta South. In the Hohwe district, where we have the Sando Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Likpe areas, they recorded the lowest turnout so far. Out of 21,367 voters expected to vote, 9,427 voted yes, 1,125 voted no. Rejected ballots is 67. We go to Jasikine, 38,915 out of 40,566 registered voters voted for the creation of the OT region. 310 voted against it, and then we rejected ballots. We have 135. In the KJB district, we have 40,002 voting in favor of the creation of the OT region out of 43,586. Then we go to the Biakuye district, where we have 43,571 people, voters on the voters register. Out of this number, 36,351 voted yes, 434 voted no, and then we have 58 rejected ballots. In the Nkwanta South municipality, 50,096 voted yes, 18 voted no. In Nkwanta South, we recorded the highest rejected ballot so far. That is 779. Total votes is 50,893, and then registered voters on the ballot box is 58,925. Those are the results that have been collated at the center here in Jasikine. But then also we've been picking results from the Nkwanta North district, where 45,443 voted in favor of the creation of the UT region. against 117 who voted no. In the Kwasi East District, we received 42,485 yes votes against 204 no votes. Rejected ballot was 97. And then in the Kwasi West District, we received 27,557 votes in favor of the OT region out of 28,151. We have 66 no votes and then 91 rejected ballots. So far, those are the results we are picking in the LT enclave.
At the end of the day, we also know that issues of journalists not being allowed to cover the main voting process was a concern for the voter GJ as well as well-meaning journalists. How did it end up in terms of what dialogue and ultimately how did the coverage go?
The coverage went well. I should say there were no incidents in the Jasikaim area where I reported from. We went out. We went to Bodada. We went to some other communities nearby Jasikaim. There were no incidents. But then I should say that in the Nkwanta South municipality, there were incidents of some persons stopping journalists from filming the process, the referendum. My colleagues from GTV, they were harassed or intimidated at some sentence. The same thing happened to them when they got to Jasikaim as well. So they have to leave the ground on the reasons that the ground is not safe for them. But then for me, I have not encountered any incidents as such. And then also the police earlier yesterday, as they gave us the caution, we went ahead to speak to Asafwache, one of the members of the organizing committee here in the area, who said that the area was safe or the grounds were safe for us to go and then do the coverage. And then he went ahead to sensitize residents and voters here in the Jasikaim district to caution them that journalists are around. They are accredited. Once they are accredited, they should give them the needed space and information they want.
We know that there have been some feeds or videos, it looks like being stolen shots or that were captured at the voting centers, and one of them or two were said to have been emanating from the OT region. Are you aware of it? And have you also come across other reported incidents of such nature of possible multiple voting by individuals? Fred?
We are trying to confirm or ascertain the fact that it came from the OT enclave, and then for that matter, where and which polling station those videos or those incidents were recorded. So as of now, I can't confirm and say that it is coming from the OT region, but then we are still working with stakeholders on the ground to confirm that.
Well, thank you very much. Fred Kwame Asanre is a man. He's within Jasikaim and the other enclaves around there, and we also know what the outcomes and the provisional results are. But we need to get a holistic approach to it. And Mamavi, we have the next correspondent to speak to.
We're speaking to Mauli Yevuagbe, who is at the Coalition Center. Mauli paints the bigger picture to us. 6 districts, 2 municipalities. What do we have?
Mamavi, it's looking like the referendum is going to be a done deal for the OT region. All the results are trickling in so far, even from the areas that supposedly were against the creation of the new region, shows some massive endorsement for the creation of the new region. Let's go straight to the figures. From Jasikaim, a total of 40,566 persons were on the register, out of which 360 turned out for the voting. And the yes votes is 38,915 and no 310, and rejected ballots 135. To Hohwe, where a number of the communities that are against, including Akpafu, a number of those communities that are kicking against their inclusion in the new region. Those are the figures that came out after the provisional results at the Regional Coalition Center here. out of a total of 21,367 on the register. 9,427 said yes to the creation of the new region, and 1,125 said no, and the rejected ballots were 67. And apart from this area, all other areas are anticipated to have a high turnout and a yes vote. Let's move to Nkwanta South, where there were 58,925 people on the register, out of which 50,096 voted yes, 18 voted no, and 779 rejected ballots. To KJB, where we have a total of 43,586 on the register, 40,002 voted yes, 553 voted no, and rejected ballots 110.
So Mauli, you've given us KJB, you've talked about Jessica, and you've talked about Nkwanta South.
Nkwanta, yes.
Okay.
The last one I have here is that of Biakoya. Biakoya has a total of 43,571.
Registered voters?
Yes, registered voters. And out of which 36,351 voted yes, and the no votes amounted to 434, and there were 98 rejected ballots. So the total valid votes was 36,883 for Biakoya.
Okay.
So those are the results trickling in, and including the very areas that Pafu, Adomi, and those areas that do not support the creation of the new region. If that is anything to go by, it's looking like a landslide, a major victory for the OT campaigners across the OT enclave.
Okay, but Mauli, let's add the fact that we have Kratchi East to go. There's also Kratchi West. There's the Kratchi Chumuru district as well.
Chumuru.
Okay, and then the final one will be the Nkwanta North.
Nkwanta North.
Okay.
So we have 4 more to go, and these are areas that are anticipated to have very high turnout and very supportive of the creation of the new region.
Okay.
Kratchi East, Kratchi West, Kratchi Chumuru, and Nkwanta North.
But how quickly are these results coming in?
Well, these are areas where they have to cross the river to get to the regional collation center, especially the Kratchi West and Kratchi Chumuru. And our information is that the pontoon will cross at 8 a.m. And so we're anticipating that in the next 3 or 4 hours, we should be done here.
Okay. All right, Mauli, we will certainly come to you for any more updates that you do get. That's one of our colleagues in the reporting from the Volta region, where we could possibly have, it looks like we do, the OT region, Mauli Yevuagbe, speaking from there. We'll come back and continue with this coverage, but real quick, we have to go to Yendi, Roland.
We have to go to Yendi. Justice Beidu is already there, but we also know that thousands of people from across the Dagbon Kingdom joined the Bole Lana to make a historic journey around the Gbewa Palace to climax the funeral of the late Yana Muhammadu Abdullah IV. Many residents are hoping the memorable event graced by the Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia would ultimately see an end to the long-standing chieftaincy dispute that has since held back development of the area. Justice Beidu will join us, and we'll have the latest update from there. And already we already know that events are taking place in there, and we'll try as much as possible bring you the latest update from the Justice Beidou. Already found a beautiful report just giving us what the scenes were on Thursday, the musketry, but also all the events leading up to the final funeral rites and the main ceremony itself. It was well, a murder or a death that occurred just over 30 years ago, but still lingering on, especially in the minds of indigents and the generations hence. Well, we'll bring you the latest as far as that is related. Well, we're taking a break. We'll be right back.